Good evening. Thanks for joining us. A woman serving life in prison for murder, now herself the possible victim of a homicide. That's according to police.
That's from the Fond du Lac Police Department. Aaron Goldstein about the death of Cindy Schulz-Juedes inside the Taycheedah Correctional Institution. We begin now with Samantha Cavalli live in Fond du Lac with new details we are confirming tonight. Samantha.
Yeah, Bill and Cami, correctional officers reported finding 60-year-old Cindy Schulz-Juedes unresponsive in her cell on Wednesday. We're told that efforts to revive her were unsuccessful, and a source close to the situation confirms to Action 2 News that she had been beaten to death. Now, Schulz-Juedes was serving a life sentence for the murder of her husband in 2006. Prosecutors say that she was motivated by money, including insurance policy payouts. A jury found her guilty of first-degree intentional homicide and resisting or obstructing an officer in October of 2021. She received a life sentence in June of last year. Fond du Lac Police confirmed that they are the lead agency on this homicide investigation, and officials declined to release any more information due to the nature of having it be a very active investigation. Reporting live in Fond du Lac, Samantha Cavalli, Action 2 News.